Hey there, This is the Bronx TV. We are in beautiful Cortlandt Park. Listen, there's hiking, there's biking, you can run, you can walk, you can play, you can hang out with the family, you can do all these things. But nobody knew before today that you could also get your goat. Because in fact, Cortlandt Park has goats. And Christina Taylor from the Cortlandt Park Alliance, nice to have you with us. Why do we have goats here in Cortlandt Park? And I see one is crawling right around you.
Yeah, so we have two goats here at the Cortlandt House Museum grounds, and their job, although they're slacking a little bit right now, is to eat all of the invasive plants. So we have on the grounds here a lot of burdock, poison ivy, porcelain berry that grows and takes over, we have a hard time, this park staff has a hard time mowing here because the ground's uneven. So these guys can eat all of these invasives, and the idea is that if we have them for 2 years in a row, they will eat everything and nothing will grow back except for what we plant, and then we can have a lawn here of grass and trees.
There's a lot of talk about budgetary efficiency. I think they would be a little more active if you'd come up with some more funds and pay them, right?
I mean, they get paid in free food. What more do they want?
Room and board. And what could be better than in Cortlandt Park?
They're living the American dream, honestly. They're eating all the time.
And I guess I suggested what really is part of the story. Otherwise, you'd have to hire a very expensive and extensive human crew to deal with it, right?
So we did 2 summers ago. We had a dozen high school students spend almost an entire week removing these invasives, and it's hard to get them completely gone without them coming back, so they came back again. But these guys are supposed to, they do their job correctly, are supposed to eat everything up, including the roots, so that nothing more will grow.
And how large a plot of land is this? Maybe you could take a shot all the way around and see the expanse of it. It's a pretty good-sized plot, and this is the plot around the Cortlandt House Museum.
So we're only on one side of the Cortlandt House. We're on the eastern half of the lawn. This site, I think, is about between a half acre and 3/4 of an acre. It's actually slightly less than what they typically would want for 2 goats. Usually for 2 goats, they say 2 goats can do 1 acre. So if they do have some hay here, so if they do start to eat up all the invasives and there's nothing left for them to eat, we will replenish it with hay while we wait to see if anything else grows. But so far, there's more than enough food for them.
Normally, I would, you always want to ask the source, and I would ask them, so, excuse me, where are you from? Now, I didn't get a good answer, so I have to ask you. This one's name is?
He usually talks, too. That's Patches. So Patches is 2 years old. He's a male. He is from Green Goats Farm in Rhinebeck. In the background is Lulu. Lulu is actually his mother. She is 4 years old.
Oh, so it's a mother-son.
It's a mother-son duo here now, yep. And we actually will be getting different goats about every 30 days.
Do they make much noise? Is there, or are they just very good companions and they'll be able to live through winters and things like that?
Well, they definitely won't spend the winter here because for that they would need a barn, something more substantial to keep them warm. So they will only be here with us through mid to late September. And then they'll go back up to Rhinebeck for the winter, and then hopefully next year, if funding allows, we'll bring them back.
And you said about 2 years.
About 2 years. As far as them talking, I'm surprised. There we go.
There we go. See, I was going to get an answer. Can we get an answer on that? That's all you got to say, huh? Yes, you can eat my microphone. That would be very nice. Invasive species, not the microphone.
That's okay. So Patches is normally actually pretty vocal. Both of these 2 goats are very people-oriented. They definitely do like hanging out with people. So we try not to spend too much time in here
so they get to work.
It'll distract them from working because they just want to hang out with you. Patches, I'm pretty sure, thinks he's a dog.
And for people who come to the park, and there have been so many people in Cortlandt Park now, using it for all the right reasons. We want people to come out to our parks for sure. Can they stop by the museum? Well, they can't. They can get a little access.
Yeah, they can't get onto the grounds right now because the museum's currently closed. They're not allowed to open yet. But they can still see the goats from the perimeter.
I see we're waving here to somebody who has seen Oh, that's Stephanie. Oh, hi, Steph. She's the director of the Van Cortlandt Park Alliance. Go ahead.
So so people could stand like where Stephanie's standing and be able to see the goats. And then as I've been working on the fences and stuff, a lot of people have stopped and seen them from other spots and have a lot of questions. So people are really curious about what they're doing here. Everybody seems to love the idea and definitely wants to, be able to check them out.
And so why are we bleating the truth? And I said that BLEATING. We are bleating the truth, and that is that there are goats in Van Cortlandt Park. Why do we do it? And you can read it right off my shirt, because
This is the Bronx.
this is with goats in Van Cortlandt Park is the Bronx.